What is up everybody, it's Ray here, aka the Anime Watcher, and this is a breakdown of Blue Archives the Animation Opening Archive of Youth, where we break down all the opening scene by scene for all the Easter eggs and details you never spotted, and the foreshadowing as to the future seasons of this anime. And be warned, this video will contain spoilers for the anime and the in-game story, so you've been warned. So first we see this barrage of halos appearing in the screen, and there's a lot of them here, so let's identify them one by one. We first start by seeing Shirko's halo, Serika, Ayane, Nonami, and Hoshino, the main group of this story, the Abidos Foreclosure Task Force. Then followed by my beloved Riku Hachimaaru, Kayako, Mutsuki, and then Haruka's halos of the Problem Solver 68. But the brief appearances of these halos do not stop there. We have Chinatsu's halo, Iori's, Ako, and lastly, we have Hina's halo of the Prefect team, followed by Hifumi's halo, Nagisa's halo, Mika's halo from Trinity, then we have Yuka's halo, Asumi's halo, Suzumi's halo, and then finally Wakamo's halo. And then we have two halos for the thugs who appear in the episodes. Then we see Rin's halo from the General Student Council, Shirko Teru's halo, and just a few of Aruna's halos depending on what mood she's currently feeling. Sad, happy, motivated, shocked, and her normal halo. We then open to this POV shot of Sensei waking up in the train as he looks towards him and see a person in front of him injured with blood all over her clothes. As we then move to a beautiful shot of the scenery and move back to the injured person in front of Sensei smiling. This is the General Student Council president who later disappears into the story. We don't exactly know what happened as to why she's injured in this scene. Even in game, we still haven't gotten any answers yet. Then we get a wide shot of Academy City, and this tall building right here is the Sanctum Tower, where no one really knows when, how, or why it was constructed, but there was rumor that the General Student Council might have known something about its origins, especially with the president having the authority previously before her disappearance. Then we see Rin watching over the very table the General Student Council president used to sit on, and to clarify, these two were really close to the point the president gave Rin a nickname Rinny. But with the disappearance happening, Rin had to fill in her role as the acting leader of Kivodos. Not to mention, she is also the chief administrative officer and the vice president of the General Student Council. We then see her hold up her armband, and it says right here agency. I could be wrong, so please take that with a grain of salt. We then see Chinatsu, Hasumi, Suzumi, and Yuka in this shot, and they look so adorable with this art style. And this scene right here is when we meet them during the prologue as they were visiting the General Student Council to look for the president. Now this prologue also led up to Wakamo, the Fox of Calamity, one of the 7 prisoners who escaped the Federal Correction Bureau attacking the General Student Council. Then we see the Shittim chest activate and get to see the inside of the chest, where we see a sleeping Aruna, the adorable AI who helps us in our tasks. Some people speculate that Aruna and the GSC president are one and the same, but we still have no confirmation as of now. And we even see the very moment Aruna completed the biological authentication between us, where we pressed our fingertip onto hers, right in this very shot here. We then see Sensei read Ayane's letter where they were asking for help because they're slowly running out of supplies and ammunition. We then get a bird's eye view of Abidos and see Shirko riding her bike with a huge smile on her face, as we get flashes of the other members of the Abidos Foreclosure Task Force. And if you listen closely, Shirko, Hoshino, Ayane, Nonami, and Serika's VAs are the ones singing this opening, which is a nice touch to be honest. As we get shots of them in their daily lives, I also love this quick montage here where we see time keeps passing by and they're all laying down on the ground together. There's one shot I want to quickly focus on, which is this one. Them laying on the street is somewhat out of place for me, but this shot could be from Shirko Teru's timeline when everyone except for her is gone. Hence, all of the other members of the club have their eyes closed and their halos gone. Meanwhile, Shirko's are open and can be seen. I mean, it could also just mean that they must be sleeping here, but I don't think that's the case, as we also see some random bullets and mags on the ground, as it then moves to the next scene with a cheerful one with all of them smiling happily together. So if this scene is exactly from Terra's timeline, then they really snuck in this dark moment with all of their cute and happy moments as they experience together in this part of the opening. And then we just see more of their moments together on screen despite their current situation. despite Abidos' current state. Together, they're still able to keep on smiling in this cruel and dark world they are currently living in, and that's just really adorable, especially as we see a drawing of a rainbow and a cute cat on the window. And we get more cute moments between the Abidos crew where they're simply having fun and enjoying their time together, as we then get our first glimpse of Black Suit as he tries to get close to the screen and grab someone. And I guess you could say he's the true antagonist of the season, and my god does he look so terrifying and badass in this shot. We then get another quick scene of all of the characters smiling as we then cut to Prime Hoshino. Yes, this one right here is Hoshino a few years before the main story takes place. And as of now, for Global, we still haven't learned as to what happened in the past, but for JP players, they already know considering the JP version for the game has a head start. Then after we cut to Prime Hoshino, we just see her shield, the Iron Horus, which looks like to be thrown into the air, and as soon as it lands, we can clearly see a silhouette of another student. That is none other than Hoshino Senior Yume, another student who was with and took care of Hoshino during her prime days before the main story happens. Yume was the late president of the Abidos High School Student Council, and she was the former owner of the Iron Horus, the very shield Hoshino uses today. She was also the first character in-game to be confirmed to be deceased. Then we cut back to the present Hoshino reminiscing of her past as she puts her hand on a school desk. I believe this was probably Yume's seat or hers. We also get to see her cute whale plushie, in which we also see a balloon version of this whale in Hoshino's summer variant. This shot of Hoshino alone in the dark and empty classroom just gives me chills and makes me sad knowing that what she went through before meeting her other clubmates. Then we just see a nuke hitting a building and some Kaiser tanks and helicopters, with the next shot showing us a bunch of droids charging towards something or somewhere. And then we just get the scene of where everyone is readying their weapons, preparing for battle as we move to the action part of the opening. Shiroko leaps out of the classroom similar to what she does in episode 1, where she leaps outside of the window, and we just get an awesome shot of everyone fighting back, and it's just too awesome. We even see Hoshino moving from cover to cover as the Katakata helmet gang were firing at her inside the hallways. Then we see a bunch of masks on the table foreshadowing their heist later on with the help of Faust, as we can see the paper bag right next to them. Then we move on to the next scene as we see a pieced together paper and it says Sand Festival. Again, translations are not my specialty, so take these with a grain of salt. Then we see the huge amount of debt they need to pay. Then we see the Problem Solver 68 in all of their glory. Aru looks so badass in this shot. Like, the visuals for this opening is just so breathtaking. Like, I just want to have them as my wallpapers. Then we see the Prefect team, in which this shot reminds me so much of this CG we encounter in playing the game, where the shot is somewhat similar. They just look so awesome. We then move on to the next scene as we see the Kaiser boss and his army behind him. Then we just get to see different students living their lives, the construction workers, gangsters, the Katakata helmet gang, the cursed Peroro plushie leaping into the air. Then we get to see Hifumi looking adorable as always as it goes back to the action. And I just love this one take shot where the camera focuses on Hoshino and then we move on to the next student with a clean transition. It just looks really awesome. Then we see Black Suit in their base. Black Suit is in a group called Gematria, and we will be seeing them as the story continues to move forward. Then we just get this gorgeous shot of the General Student Council President standing on water. This shot is just absolutely gorgeous though. Then we see the tablet, otherwise known as the Shittim chest, getting shot 3 times as we then see a huge bowl of ramen and see the Shiba owner. Then we just see the Abidos members raising their fists into the sky as we then see them all in a cool shot. Then we get a beautiful shot of Aru in her office, Mutsuki with a smug look on her face sitting on the fence, and we just see Haruka and Kayako walking together as well. And I also love how similar Aru in the office and Mutsuki with a smug look on her face is somewhat similar to their live GDs in game. I just think that's such a cool callback to that. We also get to see some civilians along with other students living their life in Kivodos. We also see Hifumi hugging the Piroro and Friends plushies, in which this makes me so excited because just seeing those plushies made me think think of Azusa, Koharu, and Hanako, in which we will later focus on in the anime one day. Then we get a contrast shot of Nagisa and Mika as both sit in the table in different times of the day. Nagisa was sitting when it was nighttime, and Mika was sitting at the table when it was daytime. We then see Chinatsu and Iori in an abandoned ruins, which I'm guessing is still in Abidos, and move to Ako with the prefect team soldiers behind her, as we then get this amazing shot of Hina walking down the stairs. We then move to Ayane taking a selfie with the rest of the Abidos crew as the timer ticks 3, 2, 1. We then just get flashes of Terra's timeline as we see Ayane, Nonomi, Serika, and Hoshino's IDs fall onto the ground, followed by Shiroko's scarf flying away, getting blown by the wind. And we just get a close-up shot of Shiroko closing her eyes, and as soon as she opens them, we can clearly see the Chroma, a mysterious entity but is also similar to Sensei, an outsider to Kivodos. But we'll get more to that later on. We then get an awesome one-shot of Shiroko rushing towards the enemy, as we then see Aruna inside the Shittim chest as the title card fades into the screen. Aruna turns around and gives us a warm smile, and we just see Sensei preparing for another day in Kivodos. And I also love this small detail where we see the doodle version of Sensei Aruna drew for us present in the background attached to the wall. It's such a cute moment, to be honest, and a wholesome reference / Easter egg for the community, considering for a while now, that version of Sensei was the version everyone was used to seeing. So seeing it here gives me a huge smile on my face. As we then see Sensei holding Ayane's letter as the camera pans upward, and we then get a shot of the Sanctum Tower as it pierces the heavens. This opening was really awesome, filled with cute and badass moments and scenes sprinkled in some for future stories and characters we're going to meet as the series goes on. Once again, thank you for watching. I'm Ray, aka the Anime Watcher, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. See ya!